Seafair is a Seattle tradition, and we got a chance to go be really up close and personal at Seafair last year. It's so much fun watching the races, all of the tradition that has been going on at Seafair for decades and decades and decades. And it's just a good family-friendly, fun event to do in the summer. So one of the traditions has been Miss Seafair. And I love looking at these old pictures. And it's women from all walks of life, crowned Miss Seafair. I love that picture. That girl's so pretty. And it's not just like, we're going to crown the hottest chick, Miss Seafair. No, it's people who are involved in their communities, women who are, doing outreach activities all year round, who are out there supporting nonprofits and just being exemplary role models for young women. So I think they changed the name of this to Miss Seafair in like 1972. So they've been crowning Miss Seafair ever since. Not anymore. Miss Seafair has fallen victim to the woke mind virus. So this year they announced that they are replacing Miss Seafair with something more inclusive. Because it's not very inclusive just to let women do things, right? That's transphobic, I would even say. Can't have any sort of accomplishment, goal, thing that's just for women. Nope, can't do that in today's day and age with the woke mind virus. So now it's changed to the more inclusive Seafair Community Hero. It says, we're excited to announce the Seafair Community Hero Program, an evolution of the Miss Seafair role that celebrates emerging young leaders ages 18 and older who are making a positive impact in their communities. This program is designed to connect with and reflect the diverse communities we serve, highlighting individuals who demonstrate leadership, resilience, and a passion for creating change. This is basically them kowtowing to radical gender ideology, and maybe they were foreseeing that there would be some issue where a transgender person, a man pretending to be a woman, wanted to be Miss Seafair and it causing a whole stir. So they're trying to get out ahead of it and say, let's just do the Seafair Heroes program. And it's not just for women, it's for anyone. So you're going to get rid of a 70-year tradition in the name of inclusivity. And I showed you those old pictures of the Seafair, Miss Seafairs from the years gone by. From all walks of life, from all different races and ethnicities. So it's not like for 70 years they've crowned a white Miss Seafair. But that kind of diversity isn't enough anymore. It can't just be diversity of skin color. It has to be diversity of gender, too. We've got to allow people who are gender fluid to go into these spaces. That's what this is all about, and it's absolutely insane. So the exclusive part of this is we got forwarded from an unnamed source a thread where essentially Seafair was breaking this news to previous Seafair royalty. And so there's like dozens and dozens of people on this email. And it was basically like, hey, we want to let you know that we're doing away with Miss Seafair and we're excited to announce we're replacing it with this more inclusive title or whatever it is. What they probably didn't expect is for some of the Miss Seafairs of years past to be pissed off about it. So there were a couple former Miss Seafairs who responded to this entire thread and said, why are you doing this? Why would you do this? I want to read you just a couple of them that we obtained exclusively. So let's start with Caroline. So Caroline, so thanks for sending me this email. I was Miss Seafair in 1972. So Caroline was, Kathy Beck Dye. The email is to Caroline. Kathy Beck Dye, Miss Seafair 1972, the very first year they even called it Miss Seafair. Thank you for sending me this email. I was Miss Seafair in 1972. It was an honor, and I worked hard that year representing Seafair year-round, not just during the summer celebration. I was delighted to ride in last year's Seafair parade. The double-decker bus was full of past Miss Seafairs. The crowd was very excited to see all of us. We mattered. We represent part of the history of Seafair. She goes on to say, when I got off the bus, I had to walk back to my car behind the crowds. I still had my crown and sash on, even though I am 71 years old. So many people stopped me and asked if they could take a photo with me. Kids came up waving. People shouted hello. I made an impact last year, just like I did 52 years ago in 1972. I feel it is a mistake to eliminate the Miss Seafair program. People still enjoy the wonderful traditions of Seafair, and the Miss Seafair program is one of them. I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps. I know. Just her saying, like, I mattered, and what we did mattered, and the program mattered.
And how special it was to be asked.
Oh my God, I literally have goosebumps. Photos. That pisses me off so much. There's another one that said, I want to start off by, this is a former Miss Seafair. I want to start off by sharing that I do like the idea of the Hero program, but I do not believe it should come at the expense of the Miss Seafair program. From what I understand via the press release, the Hero program is like the Miss Seafair program, except the person chosen could also be a man. Despite decades of activism and work, women are clearly not yet equal to men in our society, and women of color even further behind, as much as we would like that to happen. So I believe it is essential and important to protect and nurture programs that help foster more opportunities for women at every level of society. This is not to say that there shouldn't be a program of some sort that includes men, but men have not historically needed such programs due to their already existing advantage over women. This is why I'm extremely disappointed to read that the Miss Seafair program is no longer being continued. And, my whole thought of all this is, could you not just have a separate thing, Mr. Seafair? Because no, they'd say, well, that's not going to include the gender diverse communities. You can't just have a Mr. Seafair. I already know the conversations that happen behind the scenes about this. Because of radical gender ideology and the obedience that you acquiesce to it, Miss and Mr. can't use them. You can't single people out like that. Because there's some people who just don't fit into those categories. And I will say for the record that I am good friends with the executive director of Seafair this year. She is new to it. It's her first year as executive director. I already text her and let her know, I'm sorry, I still love you, but this is stupid. and I had sort of said that to her, why not just have a separate category? And I'm not going to share a personal conversation between friends, but I did let her know this is really, really dumb and disappointing. She and I have disagreed on political things for a long time, so I don't think it's going to be a surprise. But again, you have to take away these spaces and these things that have been meant for women. And for women to send a positive message and be good role models for younger women. You can't have that anymore because of radical gender ideology. You could have the Seafair Heroes program. It could be open to anyone. Nominate anyone over 18 who's been a positive role model in their communities. And they could be celebrated at Seafair as the Seafair hero, and then you can still have Miss Seafair and celebrate this wonderful tradition that's been going on in the city for years. But the woke mind virus has to ruin everything, including something as mundane. I don't even know if mundane is the word. It's harmless. It's harmless to allow a woman to be named Miss Seafair and to wear a crown and a sash and to be celebrated. It's harmless. But you have to take that away from women too, because women can't have anything for themselves anymore. I will never be attending Seafair again. Mark my words. I will never be attending Seafair again. Not that they care, but we had a good time last year. We got to go out on a boat and participate in Seafair. And I would love to do that again, but I'm never going to attend Seafair again. Unless they reinstitute Miss Seafair.